I got my cosmetology license for free. Just tell you how I did it. When I was living in the Bay Area, I worked as a massage therapist, and around the time that I got my license to practice, the mayor of San Francisco, he issued a raid on human sex trafficking. You know, that was really amazing and beautiful for the sex slaves that they saved. But since it was hot in the city, the clientele out there, they were looking for that same type of services elsewhere, and they wound up at my job. I worked at this legit massage place that's all over the country. After the sex trafficking raid started, we started getting a lot of perverts, a lot of weirdos coming to the establishment because they were looking for, you know, extra services, and I know. So for a good few months, the masseuse, we were grabbed, groped, propositioned for sex, followed to our cars, everything by these weirdos. From being a masseuse, I got some stories. I fell out of love with it because who wants to go to work and have to wonder if they're going to get sexually assaulted that day? I was talking to my grandmother because I was living with her with my baby at the time, and she was like, well, you just can't stop. You know, you have to keep going. You need something else to show for your age besides a baby. And my son, I think he was about 2 or 3. And my grandma, she had 7 kids. And she raised those 7 kids from doing hair. She was a licensed cosmetologist. So I was like, okay, so I'll get out of massage therapy and I'll get into cosmetology. She was okay with that. From there, I had to go through my social worker because, you know, young, single, broke teen parent, I had to get on assistance for a while. So I was talking to my social worker and she was like, we're not going to support that. And I'm like, but why not? Because I was on a program called CalWorks. And CalWorks, basically, when you have a child up to a certain age, CalWorks, they'll spoil you, man. They will pay for childcare, they'll pay for your food, they'll pay for transportation, they'll pay for miscellaneous things at the school. Just like everything, you're set. You just have to be committed to a program. And so I was telling her about it, like, yeah, I want to do cosmetology. She was like, no, just straight up. She was like, no, you need to do an actual job, the postal service or grocery store, something where you get an hourly wage over, you know, doing hair. So I had came to that interview prepared with an article from the U.S. Department of Labor, I think that's what it's called, and it had broken down how cosmetology is actually very valuable, because during the Great Depression, I'm pretty sure the only businesses that survived were liquor, prostitution, and cosmetology. And in this article it said that cosmetology is going to increase in business as time goes on, blah blah blah. It's still on there. At that point she was like, okay, cool, because for a minute she thought I was like a ghetto girl, like, yeah, I just want to do some hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it wasn't that at all. I actually needed a trade so that I could be able to support my child because his father is absent. And from that point she was like, okay, cool, so now I just had to find a school. I went looking around for a school to major in cosmetology, and first was Paul Mitchell. Oh my god, that school was so awesome. Like, I walked in, it looks like a club, you know what I mean? They got the lights, they got the music. But Paul Mitchell at the time in the Bay cost about $30,000. I came home, I'm like, so grandma, yeah, Paul Mitchell, $30,000. She was like, no. She was like, what's their pass rate, honey? And I went online and I looked up Paul Mitchell's pass rate. And the pass rate is how many students that graduate from that school are actually passing their state board exam to get their license so that they can work. And in the Bay Area, their pass rate was like barely 20%. So all these kids going to this big fancy school, they're not passing their exams. From my grandma's advice, I kept looking for a different school. And I finally found one that had a really high pass rate, like in the 90s. So I'm like, okay, cool, I found one. I went to this community college, and I found this school that I had found was connected to the community college, so I didn't have to pay for the school out of pocket. With the community college that I went to, I signed up for cosmetology, and because I was on state aid and welfare, I qualified for a fee waiver, so I didn't have to pay the fee. Only thing I had to come out of pocket for at that time was just the kit fee. And the kit fee compared to what's happening now is a little bit more. The kit fee was like $750. And the kit itself was trash. Like, everything was plastic, falling apart. At this point I'm like, whatever, I'm already in here, I'm committed, you know, the county's taking care of the baby's daycare and whatever, I'm getting my hours. Because I was living with my grandmother and she was a cosmetologist, I had a teacher at home, I had a teacher at school, and I passed my exam the first time. And you know, she helped me a lot and I appreciate her. She passed away recently, but After I had finished and I had gotten my hours, one of my cousins, she went with me to state board. I think the exam is a lot different than it is right now. When you're in beauty school, you're basically going to be back in high school. Period. Because when I had gotten there were girls who were like, you know, shoot the breeze, doing their thing, not really focused on the work. Because I had like a lot of help through welfare and a lot of help through my family in the Bay. I went to beauty school 1,600 hours. That was 10 months full time in order to get the hour requirements to get to the state board exam. And when I had gotten there, the same girls that were shooting the breeze, when I had finished my hours, they were still there shooting the breeze when I should have graduated like a long time ago. So when you get there, like, get in, stay the course, get out. Once I had finished my exam and it was time to look for work, I just presented my caseworker with the receipt for the kit, and she reimbursed me the kit fee. So I didn't have to pay the fee waiver. I didn't have to pay the kit fee. I did not have to pay the state board exam. The state gave me money for that too. So all in all, I paid $0 to get my license, when there are sometimes people are left in debt of $20,000, $30,000. So when you're looking for a school, you need to find out who has the highest pass rate, because by law they have to post who's passed their course. And even if the school like I went to with the highest pass rate, it was ghetto. It was like, did it really come to this? But no matter what the school looks like, just like get through it. But as far as the bells and whistles of everything of the school, don't get me wrong, Paul Mitchell, they really teach people. They will teach you how to maintain a job and maintain your career. The school that I went to, they only taught like state board. So everything that I learned outside of that, I had to learn by myself. But it was okay because I got that piece of paper. I got my license, versus knowing all this stuff that they do teach you at a very renowned school like Paul Mitchell. So you have all this knowledge, but you can't pass your exam to start working. So that's something you also have to look for. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments. If you're looking to get your cosmetology license and you do have a little bit of you know, going through life's trials, you know, so thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I think YouTube is doing something different. It's like some extra slate at the end of your video, so I'll leave these videos here for you to, you know, click on. I think that's how it works. I don't know. All right, I'm out.